They won't understand until it's too late. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So I'm referring to the narcissistic relationship. People won't know, they won't understand until it's too late. You see, many people who were trapped in the narcissistic relationship never even figured out that that's the kind of relationship they were a part of. You're different. You did figure it out, just like myself, because we are becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered. And we now know how humanity works. We now know a lot about narcissism, about mindset, about empathy, about commitment, about resilience, about transparency, and about abuse, toxicity, and manipulation. Most people don't know those things. Most people think that they know things that they don't know. You could probably say that you were one of those people. I certainly was one. It's not until the apex predator, yes, the narcissist, enters your life and traps you and tricks you and manipulates you and places you in that trauma bond or the devaluation stage or the narcissistic fog, of which all three are interchangeable yet unique to themselves, and they all equal one word, and that one word is toxicity. When that happens, it's too late. That's when all of these videos that you've been watching and all these videos will have come to fruition to let you know that, yeah, you were in a narcissistic relationship. That's why I create videos, to give you validation, to confirm your experiences with my experiences. And so when you get out that sheet of paper and you write down the pro-con list of the relationship, which by now you probably have done multiple times, you realize that that relationship wasn't as bad as you thought it was. It was worse than you ever imagined. But see, you now know things that most people don't know. You now know or are learning what I know. Most people won't understand what I'm talking about. Most people won't understand what narcissism is until it's too late. Now again, before you met the narcissist, or let's say when you met them, if somebody had walked up to you, including the narcissist, if they did it themselves, and of course they didn't because they were wearing a mask, if they handed you that 2-page report and said, listen, this is who I am, it's what I'm going to do to you. You can enter the relationship with me, or you can remove yourself and I will lose your number. Or if somebody else had given you a heads up or tipped you off that that person that perhaps you may be entering a relationship with has destroyed other people's lives, would you have turned around and said, no, I'm out? You probably wouldn't have. But now knowing what you know, if somebody had walked up to you and said, hey, you know what? I think that so-and-so is in a toxic relationship. What are you going to do? You're going to take a closer look. Are you going to try your best to save them or educate them? No, you won't. What you will do is be observing. You'll be watching. You'll be saying, yeah, that looks like something similar to what I was in. And that's not a pleasant place to be. Captured, trapped, if you will, with an invisible leash around your neck, with the invisible chains around your ankles and your wrists, because you are becoming subservient, or you had become subservient to the narcissist. You became the indentured servant. You became the walking apology, the sounding board, the cook, the cleaner, the chauffeur. You were being sleep deprived. You were being counter-parented. You weren't being co-parented, meaning if you had kids with the narcissist, they were trying to destroy your relationship with your kids. And I'm just barely scratching the surface. But one thing you do understand now is most people will never understand until it's too late. That's why the narcissist has an insurmountable, a huge, if you will, advantage until they don't. Now, I wish narcissism would be eradicated. I wish it would be eradicated right this very second from the planet. Again, not the people, but the behavior, the manipulation, the mindset, the evilness, the dark energy, the ability to try to trap people and to steal from them. But you see, the narcissist has been around since time began, and for the foreseeable future, they aren't going anywhere soon, other than having to work harder and harder to get supply. Way back when, and I shared this with you the last couple months and over the years in videos, before the internet and the smartphone, the narcissist had it pretty simple. It was slim pickings for them. They could pick out supply just as easy as shooting fish in a barrel. Well, those days are long over, and they're not coming back anytime soon. You see, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. And the narcissist knows that their days are numbered. Will they be having challenges finding supply sources more and more as time goes by? Yes, they will. And the reason they will is because you've done your part, as I have. You've gone no contact. You've blocked that person. You deleted them, removed them, and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. And as you've done that, you've begun to heal. And the clarity has arrived in your mind. Not only that, but your energy has returned, your sleep has returned. Some of the relationships that the narcissist didn't fully destroy have returned. Other relationships weeded themselves out. You've experienced many casualties of the narcissistic relationship. I created multiple videos on that topic beginning way back in 2021. And now you understand what very few people understand, which is that, yeah, narcissism does exist. And when you're trapped, it is anything, and I mean anything but a good experience. There is nothing worse on this planet than being committed, feeling compelled, and having to communicate or wanting to communicate with the person who's abusing you, and they know it, and you can't do anything about it. Now, I'm very carefully and cautiously glossing over or illustrating to you what the trauma bond is. I'm not going to dig into it deep here. What I'm sharing is, if you know what the trauma bond is, you know that that is not a place that you ever, and I mean ever, want to dip your toe into again, because you were helpless. You could not sleep. You couldn't function. You gained weight. You lost weight. All of your money went out the window. You did whatever you could do to quench or I should say squash the voices in your head that were screaming to you, am I enough? Did I do enough? Should I have done enough? Where is the narcissist? What are they doing? You're experiencing FOMO, on and on and on. This is all before you even had the wisdom. Think about how much damage one narcissist does. They didn't just do damage to you. They blew up your whole infrastructure. They blew up your support system. They stole your money. They hid your assets. They did not support you when you had health concerns. They weren't there when you lost your job. They weren't there when you had a common cold. They could care less. They were walking 40 feet in front of you. They were triangulating you, yet asking you to send the money via Venmo or via Cash App. They wanted access to you, but while they were getting access to you, what they were doing was destroying you from the outside in or from the inside out. And very few people that you knew what was going on around you. They watched you change. They watched your demeanor change. They watched how you used to be a kind, loving, stable, healthy person with a lot of bubbly exuberance, and now you became a shell of yourself. Now, these people, usually, they wouldn't say things to you. They would observe, because maybe they knew who the narcissist was and they didn't want to get too close because they didn't want to become a target. Other people that perhaps were watching you were narcissistic themselves, and other people, they didn't know what narcissism was. So they just thought that perhaps you were in love and you were committed to that person, and maybe you were just giving a little too much extra, but they didn't realize that behind the four walls of the house that you were living with the narcissist, if that was the case, that you were being abused morning, noon, and night, and you could not turn it off until you finally got the wisdom. And that's when you cracked the code. You found the needle in a haystack, and that's when you realized that that person, i.e. the narcissist, knew what they were doing, and that they knew that you didn't understand what they were doing to you, and that you were loyal, you were committed, you were an empath, you were wearing your heart on your sleeve, you were vulnerable, and you were naive, and you were trusting. You didn't know what the narcissist knew. And I've shared this recently in so many videos, because you have to understand the narcissist just didn't enter a relationship with you and maybe steal a couple $100 and or maybe take a little bit of your time and say, okay, well, whatever, and just ended the relationship and you moved on. No, this relationship did damage to you. That's why this is the relationship you need to heal from. And that's why the healing path is not linear. It's anything but linear. It will take time. It will take a lot of time. But in your time, you will heal when you utilize the tools that are provided for you with each and every video I create. You need to understand, if where you are right now is not where you want to be, then there is work to be done, and you have to do that work. I cannot do it for you. I had to do my own work, and that's why I provide one-on-one sessions to help people get to where I am. People that have questions to get answers to that the narcissist won't provide, because the narcissist won't give closure, and the narcissist won't even admit they're a narcissist, and the narcissist will slither off into the darkness because this is what they do. They want to take the best of people and leave leave those people that they abuse to shell of themselves. And that is why each and every narcissistic relationship ends with a thud, a crash, and a bang. And the ending usually comes out of left field because you weren't prepared for it. You did not realize that another person could possibly not have the ability to love. You didn't realize another person could steal empathy but yet not possess it. You didn't realize another person could procreate another human life form but keep that person, their own kid, trapped and subservient to them and try to create a mini-me out of them for 18 plus years. You didn't realize that this was a generational curse and that you had to become the generational curse breaker. You didn't realize that this thing on earth called narcissism, it is prevalent. It's been written in all the books for thousands of years, and now it's affected you in your life. You didn't realize that going no contact is one of the best decisions you will ever make in your entire life. You didn't realize that going no contact would benefit you. You didn't realize that saying no is the strongest word in the English language. And when you say no to something or someone, you are saying yes to yourself. Other things you didn't understand way back when was you need to control what you can control. You need to place your attention where you place your energy. And where you place your energy and attention should be as far away from the narcissist as possible. And you also didn't realize that the narcissist is like an octopus, not with 8 tentacles, but with 8,000 tentacles. This is why these people try their best to trap people and keep them stuck, frozen in time, if you will, which is why you need to break the 4 ties: the emotional, the financial, the physical, and the spiritual tie. Once you cut those ties, you will realize that everything I've been sharing with you for all these years not only is true and accurate, but the mountaintop of indifference does exist. And you will get there if you realize and you understand that being loyal to a toxic abuser and being loyal to someone who will never change and being loyal to someone who knows or who knew that you wouldn't understand what they were doing to you is not the path. The path is to cut toxicity out of your life, if not now, when, and understand that you could shout from the rooftops. You could get on your soapbox, you could get a megaphone or whatever you wanted to, or you could do whatever you wanted to and tell anybody under the sun that the narcissists are out there and they better beware and have boundaries. But most people won't get the message until it's too late. I was one of them. You were one of them, although we weren't warned. We didn't know this because we were trapped years ago. But the people of the future, they will have the warnings. The warnings will be coming from me and from you and from all the people in the future that I will pass the baton to. And they will shout from the rooftops too and create videos and write books and do whatever they can do to pay it forward. But unfortunately, those people, most of them, will have to have been in a narcissistic relationship. Now, do I wish I was in one? Absolutely not. I wish I never entered the narcissistic relationship. Wish I never met that person. Wish I never met those people. But I can't change the past. What I can do is continue to pay it forward and help out those people. And you are one of those people who may not even know that you need help, or who does know that you need help and you need answers to questions like I shared with you earlier. Everything all comes full circle, people. The narcissistic abusive cycle comes full circle. Your healing will come full circle, and the narcissist will get what's coming to them. And they will continue to target people who are vulnerable, naive, trusting, and who do not know what narcissism is. And they will continue to target people who aren't strong enough to go no contact. Once you get the wisdom and get the message, you need to get off the radar of the narcissist and go no contact, and do it today, if not now, when. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the windy Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. And a couple quick things. 1, the narcissist will never change. 2, they knew you didn't know what was going on with you. Number 3, they knew what they were doing. Number 4, they have multiple people on the hook at any one time, and they use, abuse, and manipulate whoever provides whatever they need for it in that exact moment. And they don't care about anybody at all, which includes their spouses, their parents, their kids, their romantic relationships, whoever they're cheating on, whoever they're hiding from or running from. They care about only themselves. So cut ties with the narcissist once and for all. Go no contact, block that person, delete them, remove them, and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. I love you all, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. Bye, you guys. I love you. Bye.